Get ready for non-stop bowling action with Savage Bowling TV. Your front row seat awaits. To the biggest scratch tournament events, incredible drama, intense matchups, and unforgettable moments.
And a strike to finish it. Doty Cup, hello, Evansville North, your state title team.
Stay tuned. It's time to roll. Whether you're a die-hard fan or you just love the game, Savage Bowling TV delivers all the excitement straight to your screen.
All right, bowlers, hold up on your practice, please. Last call, brackets and side pots in the tournament office. Okay, like I said, please get your scores on the sheets, take them with you. We'll get what we need. Try to keep it updated as quick as we can. There are no E's on any pair, so the counter will usually put that off of there. There's one or two pairs that has only 3. So if we'll put that D in as a line, I'd appreciate it.
All right, welcome to the 9 p.m. qualifying squad here at the Indiana Masters. You're watching it exclusively here on Savage Bowling TV. Scott Gilmore, Chad Lester, and a special guest in the broadcast booth here at 9 o'clock. You know, a guy that's won this a couple times in the Scratch Classic a couple times or whatever. I don't know. How many times have you won now, TJ Schmidt?
A total of 3 times.
Yeah, there you go. And got a chance to maybe add another one here. You're nothing fantastic, but, you know, another kind of like shooting par, right? A par golfer, kind of boring.
No, that's exactly right. Yeah.
+9. So, but hey, all you're wanting is a chance to win, right? That's all you're asking for here. But +9, so you got a chance. Top 64 will come back tomorrow and bowl 2 more games. Top 16, however, are seeded into the double elimination match play portion of this event automatically. So, well, I don't know exactly how many. I heard there was in the 80s in this squad, so we're going to be well over 500 bowlers, or I should say entries. I think there's well over 300 unique.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead. I thought I heard Jeff say 490 entries.
yeah,
Total.
490. So
they didn't get quite get there.
top 98 will get checks this week.
I'm hoping I get one of those.
It's so hard
Scott's
to look
sweating
at.
now.
Yeah. It's so hard to look at the standings because you've got all the people that have bowled 2 or 3 times that
Yeah.
have scores within that cut line or within the cash line.
Yeah.
So it'll take Jeff Circle another hour after we're done to eliminate all those doubles.
Well, we hope you are enjoying watching our coverage today of all of the qualifying squads here. Right now, if you're, I'm assuming like what we're doing, to be honest, we're watching some live bowling here in front of us. We got the Royal Rumble from Indianapolis going on a computer screen here. So we're kind of multitasking here, just trying to keep ourselves entertained. But got some fresh faces in this squad, too. I see David Hayes has showed up here from Marion. He's Terre Haute, his hometown. Former Junior Team USA player, if I remember right.
That's correct.
You know, it's pretty sad when you think about it that you're becoming one of the older statesmen here in this tournament.
I know. I was talking about it with Ryan Slosser a little earlier. We come in, and it's amazing how many new faces there are, and that my generation of Purdue bowlers is getting fewer and fewer as far as coming out here every time. And mean, it's nice to hang out with those guys, but yeah, there's a whole brand new set of youngsters coming out. And as a 36-year-old, that feels weird just to call them youngsters, but yeah, there's definitely a new changing of the guard.
Yeah, you're a youngster to me, so. Yeah, and these others, they're like, it's unbelievable how good these young players are. We were just talking earlier today, too, about Landon Jordan, 18 years old, makes the U.S. Open TV show today. Bowling didn't go his way, but, man, what a great young talent this kid is. And there, you see several others out here, same way, just really gifted young athletes. And
well, and I think they get started earlier and earlier, and they're getting more knowledge earlier and earlier. Especially bowling on harder patterns, there's more opportunities to bowl on some of these sports shots, so that they're used to seeing, what it's like to bowl on something as difficult as what we're bowling on today.
Yeah, I want to ask you. You bowled a couple of times. I know I did too, but you had a little more success than I did. But what did you see as you migrated? We know the quirks of the house, right? The low end compared to the high end. But it really seemed to me, even though the end of the house that we're sitting behind, we're obviously behind 7 and 8, 9 and 10. This end of the house seemed to be a lot more challenging for some people than down on the high end where it's a little tighter.
Yeah, I think that this first bay of the first probably 14 lanes is very pair to pair, or even just lane to lane. It's not pair to pair; it's lane to lane. Where, I bowled the first set on 5 and 6, and I had talked to Jacob Wright, who bowled on 5 and 6 yesterday. Lane 6 was significantly tighter than lane 5, and that was even me starting on that lane, or on that pair. I noticed it was a couple tighter to where if you got it, still going towards the 10 pin at the spotter, it was having a hard time getting back. And then as you move throughout the house, you find some pairs where it feels like it's more open than others, and there's some that you feel like you've got to hit a dime at 40 feet. It makes it very difficult to make moves confidently when it's so lane to lane or pair to pair.
Yeah. There were some low scores. It seemed like down here on this end, if you shot 2-teen, low 220 game, you had a heck of a game. But as we noticed, regardless of where you're at, how many times guys had the first 4, or maybe the first 4 or 5 out of 6 shots were strikes, and how quickly it could turn into a 180 or 190 game.
Oh, yeah.
In a blink of an eye.
Yes. You get lazy, you cut one short and it goes through the nose, you let it slide through the break point, now you're looking at a 2-8-10 very easily. That was my issue today. Second set, 5 opens, and of those opens, 4 of them were 2-10 combos. So it's very easy to do. I mean, it's very flat. So, I mean, really, you can pretty much see the consistent. If the break point is between 7 and 9, it's going to be pretty close. Some guys, if you're able to move left far enough, you could maybe get away with 9, 10, 11. Now, as of recent, I've seen a lot of guys trying to play the gutter, which just, again, so pair to pair, it's just so inconsistent. I mean, if you can do that the first game and knock out a 230, 240, just be ready to make the giant jump in.
Yeah. All right, looking here in front of us, we have Wes Gamblin, who bowled real well the previous squad. Adrian Cassane, Scott Tapley, David Hayes in front of us, Shelby New. Trevor Thompson, a young player that's bowling for Trine. Really standout high school bowler here in the state from the Indianapolis area. But I see a lot of guys too, though, that have bowled multiple squads. And it's so frustrating because you look at the scoring pace, and you know anything plus 1 to 5 is probably really good, right? It's going to get you in to the second round. And you shoot 550 or 60, and you're thinking, I'm just a couple of hits away.
Yeah,
and it just draws you right back in.
And that's what Jeff Circle loves about this pattern. I mean, it's been a similar pattern every year for the last 7 or 8 years. And I mean that's exactly it. You can look at the amount of guys that shoot between 550 and 610, and it's going to be in the 100 to 120. And everyone's going, oh, if I wouldn't have just thrown 3 splits, I would have been right there. Oh, I missed 3 makeables. Oh, I'm right there. I have the look. But when you have the look to shoot 2-0 every game, and then you try again, and your look is still only 2-0 a game. You can't miss. You can't have a mistake.
And there's nothing more stressful than needing to double in a 10th to shoot 2-0. Because if you don't get the first one, you're in the 180s or somewhere in that, or maybe low 190s.
Yep.
But it's just to get that, and that's the difference. You go like what your scores were, 201, 202, 206.
Yep.
And if you don't double in those 10 frames, let's say, and you shoot 190, 190, 190, you're on the outside looking in. It's just that's.
And then I'm out there bowling this squad instead of talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this tournament's always a grind. It's hard not to at some point let anger creep in a little bit.
Right.
I mean, because you can throw it bad and somehow get away with one, but then you throw 3 good ones in a row and don't have a strike to show for it, and that can be wildly frustrating.
But I think that's what's made this event what it is, because of the number of entries, the prestige that it has acquired.
Yep.
And the scoring pace is just so.
Look how pretty you look.
Yeah, Dave, the owner, Dave Small, stopping by the booth. I'm going to talk to TJ here real quick. But that's what's made this event so great, is the closeness of all the players. When you go 20 spots, you go 20 pins, and there might be 25, 30 guys.
Oh, yeah. We're going to see the field be really close tomorrow, and that's going to be to a lot of people's advantage because they only have 2 games to get into the top 32. So it'll be interesting to see how close the field actually is.
Yeah. Well, and I think earlier in the day, maybe after the 1 o'clock squad, when Jeff sat down with us and was talking about eliminating the dual entries, that there were like 32 bowlers in between. I can't remember like what scores, but it was only like 20-some pins.
Yeah, 20-some pins. Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. David Small, boy, you can hang around for a little while longer if you want. It's a long day, but hey, we thank you for. See, I don't know which one we got here.
We'll figure it out here.
We'll figure it out.
Start talking.
We thank you for all the wonderful accommodations and all you do for the tournaments here at Championship Lanes. You guys do a wonderful job hosting this every year. I'm sure you guys are thrilled to see such a large turnout this weekend.
It's been a wonderful weekend. The the Masters is such a great tournament, and when you have the right people running the event, such as Jeff Circle and his crew. Jeff is just simply amazing with the patience that he has to put up with all these personalities.
Right.
Even, like personalities like TJ Schmidt and,
Yeah.
all that other stuff. Exactly, yep. I went there. I was just talking with him, and it's like, I remember when you were a sophomore in college.
Yep.
I remember, Scott, when you had hair.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
too.
no, you didn't have hair still.
I haven't had hair for a long time.
You were still sexy, though, back then.
Oh, well, thanks. I appreciate
But
that.
it's really,
At least somebody thinks that.
it really is a fantastic event, and 497 entries this year for the 25th anniversary. That's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive.
It is.
Yeah, and he talked. When I talked to Jeff last night, he said that he had 368 prepaid, but out of those, like 60 brand new bowlers that had never bowled before.
And that right there is a tribute to the event, to get the new bowlers, to get people to try for a first time. And that really, that shows the quality of the event. And, to have 60 new bowlers out there just keeps our tournament, growing. And that's what we need and want. Because, hands down, this is the best scratch tournament in Indiana for the year.
Yeah, and think about the fact that you get to host this, and then the Premier Ladies Championship, the Queens here in just a few weeks, a month away essentially. So it's always nice to, and you've hosted numerous state championships and have always done well with that. So I know the bowlers love coming here. Obviously, it's a symbol of not only do they like the tournament, but they like the center that it's in. And I know that's always probably great for you to feel as a proprietor.
It's a wonderful feeling because, it's nice to see a lot of our local bowlers come out and support, and it's great to see people from around the state that you maybe only get to see once a year, because of the travel schedule and different tournaments. But, to have the Queens, to have the Masters, to have the Senior Masters, all three of the Masters tournaments in Indiana really is a privilege. And, I've had this center since 2015, and this is my 10th one, Lord. Oy. It's hard to believe.
Now let's quickly, before you take off to do better things, obviously.
Nothing better than standing here talking to you.
Well, I do want to ask a question. Obviously the PBA schedule coming out. Nothing in the state of Indiana, but however, your center in Michigan hosting a major. How was that for you, Jax, hosting the Players Championship?
Well, definitely was a little bit of a surprise when we were offered the event, the Players Championship. It's our first major, which is very exciting. I know that the city's excited. It's a lot of exposure for the city, a lot of revenue to the businesses, and the bowlers love coming to Jackson. It's a very, very large facility, and they're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to the event. 2 Fox shows, a whole week of activity, and scary, that'll be my 97th PBA event. Oh yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. No, just kidding. And actually, the World Series of Bowling this summer. World Series of Bowling, the PBA 50.
Yeah.
This summer will be my 100th event.
Wow.
I'll be the first to go over 100 events.
Wow, and that had a great response last year.
Oh yeah, it's an amazing event. 4 tournaments in one, and we crowned so many champions on different patterns, and it's the 50 version of what the regular tour is all about. So they enjoy it. We had 196 entries last year, so that was awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
And I appreciate what you guys do here, bringing it live to everybody out there that can't be here, or, so you guys do a wonderful job with Savage Bowling. Hard to believe I've known you guys for 16 years now.
It's been a
You
while.
can believe that?
Yeah, we were just getting ready to. We've been talking about putting together a podcast for next month about the Lafayette Open. So we might be talking to you here at some point in time.
I'd love to see you I would love to see you decide to bring that back. Obviously,
A lot of people say that.
I was very privileged when I bought Star Lanes in 2009, Scott.
Yeah, I know, a long time ago.
Scott hated me when he first met me. I don't know why.
I don't
he came
say
in.
that.
He came in, took all his stuff out. He's like, I'm like, well, bro, hang on. I'll help you out with whatever you want. And we were able to become amicable. We were amicable. Now Scott and I are pretty darn good friends.
Yeah.
And so we were able to host the Lafayette. I think we hosted your 20th.
Yeah.
We had the 20th for you. And then, of course, I sold Star Lanes in 2018, and unfortunately, it did close a few years later.
Yeah, COVID ended up ruining that one.
Yeah,
COVID did a lot to the bowling industry.
It did. We were very blessed to get through it. But, I've got a center here. I've got a center in Fort Wayne. If you want to bring the Lafayette Open back, and we could call it the Lafayette Open via Fort Wayne or the Lafayette Open via Anderson. We'd be glad to help you bring it back.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and as you know, the 10 years that you owned, almost 10 years you owned the center, that it had its own quirks, and the uniqueness of every pair being slightly different and the challenges that center brought to the facility or to the players, that's really what made that event such a great event in my mind.
Oh, and those oil patterns we developed, we were not exactly the nicest people.
Yeah.
Some of those oil patterns that Scott and I developed together make this look like a house pattern.
Well,
but we were also, on a couple of years, we were actually ahead of, thought when we did the 28-foot pattern, buff to 32. No one had seen anything like that. And then the next year, here comes the Badger? No, but not Badger.
No, we never ran a
Wolf.
PVA pattern.
No,
but we ran something similar.
We ran the short. Remember, we developed a 28-footer, buff to 32, and nobody knew how to play it. And the next year, the PBA came out with a 32-foot pattern. I'm like, okay, we're ahead of the schedule. So what we did wasn't crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I think, we always made them tough, but that's what made it so great. Obviously, TJ, you bowled in that event a lot. There was always a great thing to come, and knowing that, hey, if I just shoot 2-0, I'm in great shape. And it was always, a minus somewhere to make the cut to the top 32, and it paid well. So that was I always felt like when Chad and I talked about this earlier today was my event and this event were like the crown jewels of the state. And so I was always honored to have that event run for as long as it did. It had some great champions. It had a wonderful list of champions.
And I still remember the year, TJ, when we had that outside pattern with where we had just the gutter just wide, not wide open, but was all just 3 to 3 all the way down. And you won your one match for 2 games shooting like 360, and the next match you shot 540 for 2 and got beat. It was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yep.
And nobody. It was not bringing up a bad memory or anything, but that's just what would happen.
Yeah.
I got beat by Brett Shepard, who won it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He shot like 560 at you. It was some enormous number.
Yes.
But he won the previous match shooting 360, and the next match he shoots 540, almost 200 pins better, and got beat.
What year did you win?
2013, I believe.
Yeah, you look at the list of winners, yourself, Eugene McCune, Kyle Sherman, Wesley Lowe.
I forgot Kyle had won that.
Yeah, EJ Tackett. Yeah, you can't forget EJ Tackett. But I mean, the who's who, of course, going way back, Vinny Atria, one of the all-time greats in the Midwest. One of the best amateurs for many, many years.
Heck yeah.
Won that. And of course, it was always great. The first winner was Terry Clayton, our local Hall of Famer, State Hall of Famer. So,
how many years ago was your first one, Scott?
98.
98?
98 was the very first one. And it was wood lanes. And of course, there was a bar across all the way. Of course, the center.
Before we took
it was so cool because when you look at the old videos and the TV shows,
see how
the center changed. Then when you bought it, you had new masking units, and it was really cool to see the evolution of the center as it went through the course of that event. So
it went from wood lanes to Guardian to HPL.
Oh, and those
Yeah.
lanes hooked.
Oh man.
God, those lanes hooked.
But that's what made it so much fun. And it wasn't like, even like in your case, I know we had some years that the scoring was high. Kyle Sherman, almost 300, had 299.
Yeah,
That was the highest game we ever had. But you know, if you got lined up, you could score. But you had to throw it really, really good. And that's what I think that makes this tournament so great.
Definitely.
It's scoreable, but if you don't execute right, you're going to struggle.
Yep.
And I think that's why you see a lot of these players show up. It also is frustrating at the same time.
Very much so. Yes.
Yeah, in a good way. In a good way. We did have a big string. Okay, they ended that in the 7th frame. Okay, or in the 6th frame. We were talking about, Dave, the and you know obviously this center real well since you own it. The interesting ways of one end of the house hooks a lot more than the other end of the house, and again, the characteristics of this center is what makes this tournament challenging and fun for the player when it comes to something very competitive like this event.
It has very similar characteristics to Star.
Yeah.
And you know why that is, right? You know why it hooks differently from one side to the other?
Tell the world.
You know, this is a true story when I say this. If you've been around bowling for 25, 30 years, when we went from handspring lanes to the first oiling machines that had pads in them, there was a little trick that you had to do with the pad machine that 95% of people and proprietors didn't do, and that was you were supposed to let the machine warm up, let the pads get wet, and then oil 6 lanes and let the machine rest for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then oil the next 6 lanes and let the machine rest for 5 minutes so that the pads would soak the oil
Nobody
up.
would ever do it.
Nobody would do it. They would because of time. So you just ran it from one side to the other, and you always ran it in the same direction. So as time went on, the oil just continued to get less and less and less and less and less,
and then
as
start
we
all
went
over.
down. And then start all over.
That's when you walk in and ask the lane guy, what end did you start on?
Yeah.
All right, because you're like, okay, mine's going to be somewhat challenging.
You know, when you bowled at Star, you had 4 different bays. 1 through 6 was your tightest. Then 7 through 8 hooked about. 7 to 12 hooked about 2 boards more. Mm-hmm. And then 13 to 18 hooked about 2 boards more. And then 19 to 24 hooked about 5 boards more. So if you started on 3 1 week, and then you move down to like 21 and 22.
Yeah.
Oh, I get accused of changing the shot all the time.
Yeah.
You changed the shot. No, I didn't. Well, they hook a heck of a lot more.
Yeah.
Well, that's because.
I always wanted to see, I would have loved to have seen at Star topography of each lane. I never did get to see that.
I wouldn't.
Because, you could see that there were
was
some
scared the
pairs
living
that
hell out of me.
regardless, it looked like it was an OB no matter what. You could like take a squeegee down like down 5 boards on one lane, but the ball seemed like it still wanted to fall off to the channel on the right side, right?
I was in charge of lane conditions there for a very long time, and then when we got the new pad lane machine, there was no way I could get out of bounds on the right side gone unless I didn't oil the outside. It was just that bad on some of the pairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, the topography in that house was definitely a little bit of a challenge, but we also had that one season, 11 and 12, when we had 57 300s. We had like almost 50 800s, and that's when Luke Mathis shot 5 800s in a row.
Yeah, he shot
each week.
Yeah, he actually shot like 860 something to set the city record.
And then Jimmy broke it.
Jimmy
broke it 2 weeks later.
Yeah, shot
shooting
878.
878.
Yeah. So
And that record still stands.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's a long time ago.
They were not super easy though, and that's one thing I always appreciated about this Lafayette. That
I walled the crap out of them. Don't let me fool you.
but that center, it was just hard to score big games.
You could go to tournaments outside of Lafayette. This is way back in the day, and they'd see your average, and they'd be like, "Wow, that's pretty good for Lafayette." You know, Lafayette's hard, and we're like, "Oh, okay." Well, we didn't think of it that way, but we'd always get compliments. You must be good because, you know, you're bowling Lafayette.
And it's kind of like when you go to some of the other centers around, you know, you always hear the guys from Attica. You know, Attica's always been, you know, it's a very tough center.
Spray bottle for lane machine.
Very tough center, and they come out.
Spray bottle and a mop.
they come out and, you know, you see Kokomo is a tough center.
Yeah.
Very difficult center to carry in. And those bowlers, appreciate when they come out
Yeah.
that it can be, the care can be a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, there's, every center's got its own little quirks and characteristics. This house, the pin carry is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Always
the
has
pins
been.
fly around here like crazy.
Pins fly around. Oh, TJ, just because you didn't get it today, you've won twice here, so don't even get down that road, young man.
Yeah, Scott Tapley right here in front of us with 239.
Yeah.
Yeah, game one coming to an end here. That's one of the biggest games we've seen down here on this end of the house.
For a while, yeah.
This side of the house is definitely a little bit more difficult. This side of the house can be a little bit shaky.
We like to see big scores on 9 and 10 because that's the championship pair for tomorrow night. And Jeff, the way he does it too, this pair will be dark for a few rounds. So we try
very
to
little
keep
play.
So we try to keep the volume. One year we actually had a lot of play, and the finals, I believe.
It was when Zach won.
When Zach Weidman
Yeah.
won, it was like, oh my goodness, it was
160,
brutal.
170 or something like that. It was.
I can't think of Jesse Gibson. I think was
Yes.
the runner-up's name. Bowled for Vincennes.
Oh, yeah.
Now
One-
moved back
1v1.
east. Yeah.
That was brutal.
Yeah. There you go. All right, so bowlers will be wrapping up their scores here and skipping like 7 pairs of lanes. It's like a crazy move, but you got to get through the entire house, 44 lanes here at Championship Lanes. And
They get to go try another zip code.
yeah. TJ Schmidt, Dave Small, owner of Championship Lanes here in the broadcast booth with Chad Lester and myself. You're watching the Indiana Masters here on Savage Bowling TV. Want to thank our sponsors quickly, the brands of Brunswick, Mike Alby's Arrowhead Bowl, A1 Automotive, Pinhead's Entertainment Center, Tim Mack's Victory Lane Pro Shops, and none other than Championship Lanes. So Angie promised us warm cookies tomorrow, Dave.
Well, you know what? All I'm going to say to that is you might have to remind her a half a dozen times.
No, that's all right. We love Angie.
Actually,
So
Rhonda should be here tomorrow, so you'll be good. She'll make you fresh cookies.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Mike Albee will join us tomorrow in the broadcast booth for the match play portion. So,
Did you see that 10-pin fly? Did you see those pins fly? The pins fly here,
They
TJ.
sure do.
They fly.
they do. Chad can vouch for my comment. I'm like, the pins bounce
Yeah.
around here like crazy.
Yeah, we saw Deadwood on 7. He goes down and gets it. Comes right back off of 7, walks over to 4, grabs it, goes down to 17. It was just literally
we got
like
a few,
that.
We got a few deadwoods in this house.
Yeah.
They do bounce.
They like to come out.
Yeah.
That's
They do.
okay.
You know,
Hit 'em.
the Brunswick, these are the new Brunswick synthetic pins, Max Life 2s.
Yeah, hit them thin and watch them fly.
Oh, yeah.
They say spin, but these bounce.
Yeah, these fly. And, I mean, the scores we've had this season in here, we've actually had at least 5 830 pluses this year. So that right there is pretty solid.
Yeah. Now, correct me did you get a new lane machine recently here?
Yes.
Yes. I heard that made a big difference in scoring for you guys too. Really elevated the scoring a little bit more.
We had the Kegel Sport Walker here that we've had here for about 7 years, and we had an opportunity to get some new lane machines. We got the new Atlases at Fort Wayne. We've had them for about a year, so we took one of the machines out of Fort Wayne, which was low mileage, and got rid of the Walker D and put the Icon in here. The Icon came here in April.
Okay.
So it's been here about a year. So, and it takes, funny enough, it takes probably a good month to break them in, and they get to get used to the topography, and every lane spacing is slightly different. So, because they walk by themselves, they have their own brain, so they say. And but we have Icons and Atlases in our fleet. Oh, the Atlas. When you go to state tournament, guys, I'm telling you right now, go find, Marty. Who doesn't know Marty at Pro Bowl? Go find Marty, have him bring the laptop out, and watch. Because it is just stupid with every lane. They have every single measurement, every single piece of topography, every single depression. And the machines make adjustments all the way down for speed, for flow. We have thousands of lanes of reports. So they are quite amazing. They're all GPS focused. I mean, we could actually put one on 1 and one on 3, and one will oil the odd, one will oil the even. They're freaking amazing.
Yeah.
But the statistics on them, to watch every single gauge on it is amazing.
Yeah.
Because you know how we always say it should be, 18 inches per second?
Yeah.
Well, all of a sudden that thing will slow down to 17.95, then speed up to 18.05, and just absolutely keep the speed consistent. So it's really, really neat to watch. Kegel made a really good product. Well, all their products are amazing, but that product it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
But when you guys go up there for state tournament, ask him to break the laptop out while he's oiling, and you can just watch and go, oh my Lord. Because he even has right down to the 1/10 of an inch of how long each lane is, and it knows exactly where to put everything. It's freaking cool. It really is.
You think of what Kegel does. I'm not sure John Janowicz is real then. Is he like a robot? Is he AI? Because John Janowicz is amazing too.
I saw someone, he shot 300 this week, first day of the U.S. Open.
Only one. Or two.
Yeah, and followed that up with a 147. And to quote someone on Facebook, he said, just to prove he's not a robot.
Yeah, yeah. The guy's amazing.
And what makes John so special is he's just so nice.
Yeah.
And so humble and so appreciative that he was one of those guys that didn't get, maybe didn't have the opportunities or the luxuries to be able to go compete when he was younger. And because, he had to have the job and the family, etc. And now he works for such a wonderful company, and he gets to chase his dreams.
Yeah.
I mean, but eligible for the Hall of Fame in less than 3 years, that's pretty darn cool.
Yeah. Well, and my goodness, he absolutely had an unbelievable year on the senior tour, so.
He rocks it out.
He is a tremendous, he's been good for a long, long, long time. Team USA member for a number of years. And
it's fun to watch.
Yeah. Very analytical. All right, game 2 now underway here. We'll have to wait to get scores from Austin here in the tournament office, and we'll let you know what the scores are like after game number 1. We thank you for watching here on Savage Bowling TV, the Indiana Masters Championship lanes in Anderson, Indiana.
I appreciate you guys letting me stop by and say hi.
Yeah,
Brings
absolutely.
back good memories to be with Chad and Scott, and even to tolerate TJ. There you go.
Absolutely. we tolerate him. He's all right in our book.
He's good people.
And I'm here.
I still could not believe when he said he was 37 now. I remember he was 20 years old and had a temper like there was no tomorrow.
Have a temper?
Me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Guy.
And
Oh, hardly. The night I yelled at you for chucking a ball halfway down the lane at the 710. Oh, I remember.
But he's the college player of the year.
Yeah, he
know
was.
about that.
He's
A lot of people don't realize that.
TJ's pretty damn good. He really is. But his temper when he was younger, oh my
Not
Lord.
anymore. Not anymore, right?
And now he's got
You're
2
mature
beautiful
now.
children, a wife, and a great job.
Way
and
more mature.
And he's a dance dad.
Cheer.
Cheer.
Oh, cheer dad. He's a cheer dad.
He's a difference. Can't get
Go
those messed
team.
Yeah.
They don't dance when they cheer?
There's a dance portion to it, but so my daughter, my little 7-year-old, she's a flyer, so she gets held up in the air by the other 7-year-olds, which is terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so far she hasn't fallen, but or at least not that I've seen. I'm sure
Yeah.
she hasn't practiced. But yeah, that's a whole different world. I can tell you that.
I still couldn't believe when he reminded me that the kids were 7 and 9 now. That just blows me away.
Yeah. I won't tell you how old mine are, but anyway.
Or mine.
I don't give more of my age
You
away.
know what? That's what happens. I'm the grandpa here. I'm the grandpa with 2 grandbabies, so I'm not used to that either. Ugh.
Well, we thank you, though, for being a tremendous host. We always enjoy coming back here, and always glad to have you stop by the booth.
I appreciate y'all letting me say hi.
Yeah.
And it's just
anytime.
always nice to see you guys.
Yeah.
Even TJ.
Yeah, anytime.
All right, guys.
All right, thanks, David. All right, who do we got here in front of us? Craig Monroe. Not sure who else. I'm just quickly. Here's the one thing I always love about the name jerseys. I sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I have a lot of no clue.
Yeah, there's a lot of times I don't. There's so many new players. I don't.
Exactly.
And I tell you the worst thing about this is, when everybody, they know you because they watch this or whatever, and they say, "Hey, Sky, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Gosh, I wish I knew your name." Don't take this the wrong way.
Oh.
Because
Yeah.
the typical is like, "Hey, how are you?" You know darn well that person's like, he doesn't remember me.
Yep.
So easy.
Awful lot of, hey, yeah, how are you? I think I know you.
Exactly. Wow, I didn't know you had such a temper.
I mean, everyone did at 20.
Darn college players.
But I do remember that incident. It was a 7-10 in the 10th. I might have meant to lose. I don't know. And so, yeah, might have lofted the ball at the 10 pin. I mean,
We learned so much from that, though, right? Probably not the
Yes.
best thing to do.
I mean, I didn't loft it past the arrows. I'm not that strong.
Well, hopefully we get some scores here soon. I'm really curious to see.
So I'm looking real quick up and down because you can see where people are at. I see a 207 here for 36B. Slosser had a 203.
Yep.
There was a 200.
There's a 202.
But that's now including.
No, that includes the 9.
That includes the 9.
Yeah, I got to remember that because, when I was watching the U.S. Open, I had to subtract
Right.
when they got into third frame what they actually
Yes,
had,
exactly.
right?
But I'm not seeing a whole lot of great scores yet. I mean, a couple 180s, a couple 190s.
Want to give you a Royal Rumble update. There's been 13 guys eliminated, now 14. Guy was just eliminated. Chad, you might have to help me out. You know a little bit more about this than I do. I believe
I barely know some of this stuff. I just see.
there's 5
highlights.
guys in the ring right now.
There's only 30 in the Royal Rumble,
And if
so
they were
they're only
around,
on entrant 20.
and if these
comes
guys were
in.
around in the late 90s, early 2000s, I would know who they are.
Exactly.
But
Yeah, I don't know
I don't
who's
know
there.
who any of those
But
guys
this is
are.
taking place in Lucas Oil Stadium. Supposedly close to 70,000 people are in attendance. Uh-oh. And we have another guy coming in. Entrance number 20
Jey
is
Uso.
Jey Uso.
Jey
So there you go.
Uso.
14 guys eliminated.
See, now you're starting to get into some of the guys that could win. Like Roman Reigns, that's always in there. I don't know if he's still there.
Yeah, Roman Reigns is still in.
Now you have Jey Uso.
Yeah. Anyway, that's your Royal Rumble update.
Back to bowling.
Back to bowling.
I thought that was Tua for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to attempt the last name. Tagovailoa, right? Pretty close.
Tongue,
Oh yeah, there's a tongue.
Vailoa, something like that.
Yeah, you're
I don't
right.
know where they get that pronunciation from when it's TAV something.
Yeah.
So we have, wait a minute. Oh, they just showed who was in there. Here we go. We got Drew McIntyre, Finn Balor, Shinsuke Kamara. I don't know who that. Shinsuke or whatever. And Jey Uso. Yeah, I don't know a lot of these guys. But that's your Royal Rumble update. Now back to the Indiana Masters.
So I'm watching down on 1 and 2 real quick. Slosser's down there. He had 2-0 the first game. Probably playing the ditch.
I saw
And,
some guys trying to play the 1-2 board with urethane
Yeah.
on the right side. I don't think that translated, in game 2 or 3 very well.
No, and that's again where the quote-unquote safe play is to continue moving left when you're a right-hander, because it's going to be more consistent, not quite as a drastic ball change.
Yeah.
But when you're playing the extreme outside angle, it can. If you somehow hit the pairs where it works for 3 games, then then that's awesome. But more times than not, you go to that second pair and it does nothing like it did on the first pair, because that 10 minutes of practice is big.
You know, this time of night too, here at the Masters, you see a lot of large cup beverages floating around the facility.
Yeah.
And I don't know how big those things are, but
yeah, the nice 32 ounce.
Is that what they are? 32 ounces?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Some guys are drinking them because they bowled real well and they're pretty excited. Other guys are drinking them so they forget the night.
Yep. Yeah, some guys call it swing lube.
Yeah. I should have probably drank a whole bunch of those before I started, but it was like, I can't do that at 8:30 a.m.
Right.
I just wanted a cup of coffee.
I mean, you can, but some people think that that's a problem.
Yeah.
Let's see. Start here. In front of us, so we're sitting behind 7 and 8. So I see a good start down on 3 and 4. Good start in front of us. Well, an okay start in front of us. Able to get a double after an open.
That's Cameron McBride.
Yes.
He was, I think Cameron, I'm pretty sure is he two-handed?
Yes.
He was like one of the first two-handers.
And he and I are the same age, and I'm pretty sure I think he went to Pendleton, maybe?
No, he's one-handed. His brother's two-handed.
Oh, that's right.
And he's got a twin brother, I believe, right?
Some sort of brother. I don't know if it's twin.
Yeah, I don't know if yeah.
But I know there's a brother.
Yeah, he's pretty sure he's two-handed too, if I remember right. Both of them are really good.
Yes.
I hate not knowing a bunch of these guys. You just would like to know everyone so you could talk about them, but so many of them you just don't know who they are.
Right.
When you stand up, this is when you really start to notice these lights in front of you. You sit down, they're kind of out of your view, and I'm like, man, I'm going blind here. What's Schlosser doing on 1 and 2? Anything?
Well, he strike, spare, open, spare. So, and the open was a makeable.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Those are just killers. I mean, again, this event, you can't afford any makeable misses.
I'll tell you what's brutal is I bowl with a guy on my pair in the morning squad. I think it was the morning squad. No, actually, I think it was last night. And we were in, I can't remember what game it was, but I'm kind of struggling. Thank you, Austin gave us scores here. We'll get those to you in a second. But I'm kind of struggling to get the pocket, and I'm getting like 7 or 8 counts, and he went strike, 9-pin or 10-pin miss, single pin miss, strike, single pin miss, then finally spared. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I would love to be able to have all these single pin, chances here. All right. Scoring here. Got to find the highest score in this squad. TJ was 239 by Scott Tapley.
Yep, saw that right in front of us.
You know that's going pretty straight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Joe Didion, 222. And then we got to go all the way to page number 2 to find the next one. Randy Smith, 220. Aiden Kaufman, 216. James Qualls, 212. Cameron McBride right in front of us here, 207. Logan Spratt, 207. Jacob Sisk, 205. Jacob Wright, 203. Ryan Schlosser, 203.
All right, couple pretty
And your
guys there.
Zach Collier, our teammate on Wednesday night, 201. So those are your guys that shot plus in the first game.
So in front of us is Mike McBride, because he's minus
Yeah, Mike
7.
is. Yeah.
Cameron is
See, I
somewhere
told you.
else. Yes.
Cameron's two-handed. Mike is one-handed. That's the difference. I stared at those lights too long, and I'm getting flashes in front of my face.
Yeah, can't do that.
Yeah.
I bowled on 9 and 10 earlier, and I turned around like, oh my gosh. Actually, it was on the approach, and somebody walked by, and you could see the shadow on the approach. I'm like, all right, shouldn't let that affect me, but I noticed it. Yeah, then I'm just going to look at this real quick. Going back through, so I mean, technically right now, well, they're going to say that the top 64 is +1, but there's still doubles in here. Then there's, let's see, between -14 and -1, there's 1, 2, 3, 12 guys between -14 and -1.
Yeah.
I mean, all of those guys are in decent spots. Put together a couple doubles in game 2. Hopefully they make the right move. I mean, I just have never seen in this tournament where it makes sense to just make a small move after a game.
Right.
It's always when you switch pairs, you're switching sides of the house, it's make a 4 to 5 board move or even a ball change, like right off the bat.
Right. And if you bowl here long enough, you know what you need to do, and sometimes it's hard to get yourself to do it.
Yep.
And you try to stay ahead of it. I should always know that where I finish at, let's say down on 15 and 16, or more like, let's say 23 and 24, where I finish at, if I know I'm going to my next pair and I'm in the high 30s, I know I need to go, back to the left a little bit, or for you it'd be going back maybe to the right.
Right.
Or maybe you soften the speed up a little bit. That's what makes it so challenging.
Yeah, it's against my mindset to move right.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why you've had so much success here. Your strengths is playing a little bit in, 4th, 5th arrow, right?
Yep.
Floating it out to the outside. And Jimmy Cook has made the point that you give him 25 to 10. You give him 25 to 10, he's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah. Yep. And I think you see that. I mean, I think there's been, I don't know, when you look up and down the winners of this tournament over the last 10 years, there's probably been, I don't know, 2 years where people that played predominantly the track, where they had more of an advantage.
Right.
So I mean, it's just the characteristics of the center and this pattern. The pattern produces great results, so it's hard to change it.
Yeah.
Ryan Schlosser going through it a little bit. Struck in the 6th, big split in the 7th. But again, if he was playing outside 5 like I know that he wants to do.
Right.
And it didn't look very good his first couple shots on that end pair. It's tough to. Ooh. On the edge of the screen, he almost picked up the Greek church. Let's see. what's interesting too is with 25 milliliters of oil out there, it's interesting to see what looks like it's carrying down, or if it's actually burning up and then not hooking.
Right.
And I think that's where a lot of guys get confused. Where I see people still trying to play their break point like 5, 6, 7, but it gets out there and then it actually just pukes.
Yeah.
And then it can't make the corner. Even though they might be standing in the same spot or even just a little right, it actually is not hooking as much, so it seems like it's carrying down. And I've noticed that quite a bit, and I think that's why you see guys who have 2 good games, then they go to that third game and, oh, I shoot 170 and now I'm out. I don't know, can't harp on it enough. It's just it's so hard. You have to just different mindset every game.
Yeah. But you give certain guys a certain pattern or give them the hook in a certain spot, they're going to be, okay, this is a guy that is going to be there near the end. I'm sure a lot of people feel like that's in your case. You come in here based on your record. You look out here on the mask units, you see your name several times, which is always a great feeling, right?
Yep.
And they announce your name before the squad starts. It's always it's great the first time, but if they announce you the third time,
yes.
Yeah. I was going to tell Jeff Circle, hey, if you announce me, like 2 times, you don't have to do it the third time.
Yeah.
If I'm bowling, right? Because then there's a problem.
Yes. The last time I did not make it to Sunday was 2018 for my title defense of 2017. And I got my name announced, all 4 squads, and that was almost more embarrassing than not bowling well.
And bowling in his 4th squad.
Yeah, still here.
We appreciate the donation.
Yes.
That's what they say for me. Donating for the 3rd time.
Here's a good start over here on 9 and 10.
Yeah. Strike, spare, 5-bagger.
So, I mean, he had...
Hey, that's always a great sign because that's the championship pair, TJ.
Yeah.
We got spare 4-bagger here on 5 and 6, too.
Yep. And they had 207 the first game.
They got a lot more than that now.
Yes, they do.
If my math is correct. Hey, we thank you guys for watching here and listening to us Joes in the broadcast booth. Scott Gilmore, TJ Schmidt, a 2-time champion here, and Chad Lester. Actually, you're a 3-time champion, but you're 2-time champion of the Scratch Classic, 1-time champion. No? 2 Masters?
2 Masters.
2 Masters and a Scratch Classic. I'll get it right.
That's all right.
Hey,
And a Lafayette Open.
Yes. That's the pinnacle.
Uh-huh.
That's the pinnacle. Hey, for a long time it was really in my mind. In
my
the state.
mind it was too. I mean, for somebody who went to Purdue and learned about the lore of the Lafayette Open, it was always something on my list. And I think that was the year that I won was the first year I actually made it out of the first round.
I know, and you always qualified well.
Yeah.
And you just
always.
Yeah, the best 2 out of 3 always was
my kryptonite.
Yeah. And it's just one that you wanted to be in there for a while too.
Yeah.
Because it was so much fun just to get in there, and it's just like this.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than making a deep run on Sunday.
Yep.
In the double elimination. Obviously, you want to stay in the winner's bracket as long as possible, but there's nothing more fun than that. It's just competing. I hate qualifying, and it's evident of my last 7 times I bowled this, right? I love head-to-head matches.
Right.
And unfortunately, it's so hard to get there.
Yep.
I mean, I don't care how good you are. When you have 500 entries, Now, we know we probably have 350 unique bowlers. But when you think about that, even if you have 350 unique bowlers, just to get to the top 32 is a major accomplishment. That's only less than 10% get there.
Yeah, and I maintain that this is still one of the harder tournaments to win, just because you have to. There's so much luck involved after you get to a certain point too. Like you can put it in the right spots, but you could bowl a guy who just came off a 250 and he shoots 140 at you. Oh, I dodged a bullet there. He had a good look, but now against me he didn't.
Right.
Like, again, just hitting the right pair at the right time, trying to stay clean, and when it's hard, you're almost just try to play defense and try to catch an early double and let them make mistakes.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I always, and I've obviously never won this, come close a lot of times, but that's what you're doing. You want to just try to catch a double, but just don't make a mistake.
Yep.
Force your opponent to press a little bit and make that mistake. It's amazing how loose the arm swing can get in a head-to-head match when your opponent in his 2 frames goes open, and then all of a sudden you think, okay, I can breathe a little here.
Yep. And by the way, we're talking about those couple guys with some strings here, and both strings were interrupted by big splits.
Yeah. And I don't like it either when they go, you see that split and then a dash. Especially when you have, a 2 or 3 or more in a row, because that's you double those pins, and you just never know when that pin count. In this tournament, like Chad and I were talking earlier, you have 20 places or 20 pins, and you might have 25 or 30 guys in that 20-pin range.
Yeah.
So 3 or 4 pins, huge difference.
Yep.
Well, yeah, it's just like over here on 9 and 10. He had the 280 pace, he leaves a 4-6, and he misses both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 2 pins.
You would think one of those is makeable, right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking. It looks like, again, just talking about the consistency, it looks like the guy who was on 280 pace shot 150 in the first game, or 149.
Yeah.
Is that right math? No, 159.
Yeah.
That's the right math.
And
But still, it's easy to do.
That's this event, though. The yo-yo of everything. A lot of guys. One person that qualified in this tournament shot 192, 266, 162.
Yep.
And they're in.
Yeah.
And we don't know how you can catch some breaks in that. You're not going to. You shoot 266. You probably didn't catch that many breaks, but but that just shows you if you can punch the big game in a 3-game format, you can get in.
Yeah, you look at Gene Perez's big set. It was 248, 166, 256. He had 2 big games, but that.
I laughed at Bill Story. He went +6, and he had a 142 his second game. He's 64 over the other 2 games.
So we were talking earlier about Mike McBride. I saw he started off with open, double, thinking we found something. Didn't strike the rest of the game and shoots 170.
Well, Jeff Mann.
Perfect example.
Front 4. And he was on your pair.
Yep.
Front 4. 182.
Yeah.
Oh, it might have been front 5.
No,
it's
it's
front
four.
4.
Yeah, front 4.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah, that's the tough part about it.
Yeah.
And he said he'd done that twice today. He did it in the previous squad he bowled on as well.
Yeah. you can't take any shots off. I mean, and I think that's where, when you're trying to qualify, every shot is so very important. I mean, you let your mind relax one time, 2-8-10. Oh, if you let your mind relax, you feel like, you have a turkey going. Hey, I'm doing all right. I think I've got this now. Relax a little bit, 2-8-10.
Yeah.
And I mean, you see it. You see it everywhere. I mean, and I think, nothing's more depressing than bowling this last squad. I mean, like, really. I mean, there's not a whole lot of smiles out there.
No, you could just see the body language.
Yeah, a lot of defeat.
Right. Well, we have the person that went 6 split missed there after a 4-bagger doubled right after that.
That's big.
You think about it, though. If they get 2 or 3 of those, instead of 240, they could be into 250s.
Yep. That hit right there, that light 10 pin. I mean, it was close, but the ball kind of died into it, where it's probably time to make a move left.
Yeah.
But it's hard. You don't want to give the pocket away, but you want the ball to store enough energy to where that hit. I mean, but that's a good hit. But he's at a spot where he needs strikes. I mean, shooting 150 the first game, so now he's in the 220s with good count here.
When you shoot 150, you have to go 40-some plus.
Yeah.
Right? To get to at least even to maybe a little over. That's going to be somewhere the number.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you shoot anything less than that, you're in big trouble, because then now you got to go 60, 70 over. And if you only shot 130 or 40 your first game, odds are you're going to have a hard time getting to that number. I mean, it's just...
Yes. I don't know if there was a move made there, but that one definitely finished better.
Yeah. The only thing that's probably driving him more nuts is when you have 5 or 6 in a row, and then you just throw one that you don't think is that bad, and you pay full penalty, and you have a 4-6 split. All right, 10:15 here. Anderson time.
That's my bedtime.
Yes. Going into our third game. Royal Rumble update. We have 6 active. And it's Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, John Cena, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. They just eliminated... Oh, Logan Paul is still active here. Those are your final 6. See if we can't get a 220 here on lanes 5 and 6. And that's it. When you see the can we? That's hard to do.
Awful lot of 9.
How hard is it to leave just the headband? You could probably do. You could set that rack down 50 times and probably never do it.
When Dave was up here, I saw somebody bowling. I was down here. It might have been our teammate Zach Collier left the 1-5 and then he missed the 1-5. So he missed it to the right. So I'm assuming he missed the first shot to the right as well.
Yeah, this is the part of the night. Of course, then you guys would always talk me into going to Applebee's for the half-price appetizers when that was on Friday nights.
Nothing better.
And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get up at what time to go bowl the 9:30 squad?
Yeah, you'll be all right.
You youngins, you guys can handle that, right?
Not anymore. My kids get me up before 7 every day, so good. Ooh, what a break.
Hey, anytime you can make that. Now all of a sudden you got, 9 or better, 212, 213. That's a lot better than
That was huge.
201 or 202.
Uh-huh.
You can vouch for it because that's what you had primarily your qualifying squad, but there's nothing more frustrating because you're just not gaining anything. However, you're not losing, but you want those extra pins just to kind of give you a little bit of a cushion in case you need it.
Yeah.
And Billy Hibbard bowling again after he shot 692 last squad. These guys got a lot more energy than I do. A little quiet down these parts. Uh-oh. Special visitor down here. We have a Queens champion's been spotted. Pretty good pair here on 7 and 8. See, these are the updated. Well, this is after game 1, right?
Yes.
So we'll only have 99 bowlers listed here on this one. I don't know if they show more on the team app or not.
Oh, they do not. It's the same sheets.
Same number.
Yeah.
So who do you got tomorrow for the U.S. Open?
I don't know if I don't know. I'm looking at pattern 4, and EJ bowled the best in pattern 4, and if he's able to get the pattern broken down to his liking, I find it hard to beat EJ. I mean, Andrew has led it wire to wire, and he has bowled very well. I just know it's almost a toss-up between those two. I think they're head and shoulders above everyone else with how they've performed.
Yeah. Well, and
throughout match play.
Andrew Anderson he has really, there's something about him right now. Like the confidence level in him seems to be much greater than it was the previous. Last year he bowled well, but even the previous seasons. He just seems to be so confident.
Yeah, no, he's a very, very good bowler. I mean, he can do all the tough things. He can play straight. He can hook them with the best of them. The PBA put out a video showing. They said his versatility. I don't know that I necessarily call it versatility, other than where the break point was, because at the arrows it was about the same every time.
Yeah.
But with all 4 patterns, being able to play a similar line while just changing up your break point and the equipment you're throwing.
Right.
But he's got it locked in right now to where he's very comfortable with what he's throwing and in his ability to repeat shots.
All right, pretty good pair here right in front of us here on 7 and 8. We have Aaron Jones, a past Queens champion, Lisa Seyfarth, and Billy Hibbert here right in front of us. Old Blue, Doug Henry here on 5 and 6.
Looks like we got a couple people on 6 that are just plus. We got +5 and +8.
Yeah. Nobody here on 7 and 8 has done anything yet.
Lisa's -6 and started with a strike.
We got a little 4 on 3 and 4 too.
And I think Jake is at 424, so he's +24. So that means he had a nice second game, nice 2-team. Yeah, 9 and 10. A couple guys with 24s, they were just minus going into this game.
Lisa, it would be a great time to shoot about a 215 game, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
Get +9 or I still believe that it's I was -2 was my prediction. They don't have it updated after the 5th squad game 1 yet. No scrolling message across the monitors. Right through the nose. The split. You can just see, you watch the guys bowling, the frustrations. When you get into game 3 here and it's just not gone your way and you're thinking, this is the 3rd squad I bowled, you're just, this is one of the few tournaments where all you got to do is look at body language, and you can tell what's going on, right? If they're bowling good or not.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Jones throws it so good. Oh, Royal Rumble update, spoiler alert, breaking news. Jey Uso is your Royal Rumble champion. You heard it here on Savage Bowling TV. Oh my goodness. What time is it?
About that time.
Yes. So you got any roommates tonight? Just you?
Just me.
Oh man, bachelor.
Yep. Lisa tripping that 2-pin.
Yeah, even though she got an open, there's still plenty of game left. She just got to string some strikes. I know that's easier said than done. Let's see if Doug Henry here on 5 and 6. Is he throwing old blue? Is he throwing blue?
Yes.
Yep. I tried urethane out there like that, and I just, it looked good for a couple frames, and you just missed just a hair left, and it wash out. All right, game 2 scores. Here we go. Aiden Kaufman plus 27. Your Jacob Wright plus 24. That's the 2 highest scores here. Plus 19, Logan Spratt. Let's see who else we have. You want to give that one a shot?
Nope. Ed O.
Plus 16. John Burge Jr. plus, or no, that was Scott Tapley plus 12. He was 173. Joe Didion plus 12. Aiden Fellows plus 9. Evan Jens plus 8. Terry Vaughn plus 5. Senior bowler taking care of business after 2 games. So that is your guys plus. Not very many. You could tell they're getting tough. And here's the thing. Of course, you got to take out Gene Perez, who's in there 3 times. Jimmy Cook, who's in there at least twice. So right now you're looking at, see, there's 1, 2, 3. Our guesstimation, Richie Benninghoff's already in. Right now, Chad, we're seeing maybe -3.
And I would be shocked if 3 or 4 of those people that are plus
Stay plus.
Stay plus, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to change again.
A lot of people between that 1 and 15 number where, I mean.
And you got Tyler Knight at -3 after 2, Jacob Smith -5, Lisa -6. So one of these players right in here could easily have a game that could elevate them right in. A lot of movement yet to. Let's go back to our guesses. I was -2. Chad, you were -12. I don't think it's going to be that low. Andrew on our chat was -5. He looks like he could have a chance. Jeff was -15. And Stephanie Stocksdale was +5. I don't think it's going to get to plus. So, yeah, Billy Hibbert actually 100 over in his qualifying squad. That's, Nick got his on Friday night.
Yep.
Double strip, that's the purest lane pattern of this you're going to see was Friday night, in my opinion. Double strip, you ply it. That no elements of anything left underneath. Now you're getting a little bit of left, and it's just getting a little tighter, tighter. But I always like to bold the first squads because I felt like that gave me, on the left side, the most friction.
And I don't know if the theory has been debunked or not, but I know there's also a theory of what they call the hot lane theory, of every time you throw a ball down the lane, it creates friction.
Yeah.
And friction is heat.
Yeah.
And you have, every time you bowl a squad, more heat is being applied to the lane, and then they put the oil right over the top, and it can disperse at different rates depending on the temperature on the lane. So, sometimes it hooks more a little bit later. You can see that when you have multiple squads at U.S. Opens or events like that too.
Right. We're talking like Lisa Safar's case here, -6 going in, right? All you need is just a little 200 game. Do you think how easy that is to get under normal circumstances? But here, 207 is kind of like a big game, it feels like.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
How's Jacob doing down there?
So, spare the first, strike in the second, open in the third. I didn't see what it was. It's a 7-2 and then a strike in the fourth. So right now he's got to figure out this left lane, it looks like, which he's on the end pair, 1 and 2.
And he's just thinking, give me a low 180 game and I'll get out of here.
Exactly. I mean, obviously, yes, gravy would be get another 220 and get into top 16.
Right.
So then you can sleep in. And him being fairly local, he's got a nice little half-hour drive home. But yeah,
he doesn't have any free plays tonight.
But I think this next shot will be telling. I'm gonna watch it pretty carefully because he's. I hope it comes off his hand okay, because I know you get to that point where you open early in a game where you're trying to just hang on. It's just getting yourself to make good shots.
And pry it off the hand.
Yep.
That looked really tentative. To me, that looked like a tentative release.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
Trying to put the old square peg in a round hole theory, right? You're just trying to jam something, fit it in there.
I think there's something to be said too for anyone's mindset going to an end pair.
Yeah, I'm sure he wasn't thrilled walking down knowing he was going to get 1 and 2 on game 3.
Right. Yeah. He left the 3-6-9 and spared it, so he's still hanging in there. So 68 in the fourth with a spare in the fifth. Let's see what else we got going on. A couple guys that came over to 5 and 6 that were just barely plus. One was +5, one was +7. Both of them through 4 have 1 open, 2 spares, and a strike.
We got a nice pair 3-bagger on 3 and 4.
Yep.
And again,
they were +12.
Yeah, we know how big the big game can change the complexion of your series and jump you up a ton of spots. So, just notice, is that a Chucky jersey down there? Like right here, it looks like it's striped shirt with with suspenders.
It sure is. Yep, on the right side of your screen.
Yeah. Interesting. That's one thing I like. I mean, the jerseys. It just everybody has their own. It's just their own way. I think it's great. The jerseys have done a great thing for the sport of bowling. It's just part of who you are.
Yep. All right, Jake got another one on that right lane.
Did he mark that 6 count spare?
Yes.
Ooh, that's a good spare.
Yeah, so he's spare strike, open strike, spare strike.
He needs to get a double in here.
Lisa with a good spare on lane 8. But 5 counts off the spare.
Terry Vaughn with a double there in the 5th on lane 6.
Yep.
He's plus after 2. Our spare 3-bagger is now spare 4-bagger on 3. So they're in great shape to advance.
Yep. They were plus 12 after 2.
They're actually threatening to maybe get into that top 16.
Yep.
My guess on that was plus 49. We'll see right now after
That's pretty good.
it was plus 44. Other than those few players, there's not a lot around our area. Looks like you got a 220 game possibly on lane 9.
Jake got himself a big double there, down on 1. It was a much better, more confident shot. Get him that double, get him back in contention for the 192.0 at least.
Yeah, I mean you don't want to count your score, but or feel like this is what I have to post. But hey, if he gets 184, 185, I mean that's plus 8. I mean that's easily in.
Yeah.
Just don't want to shoot 170 something, and then all of a sudden now you're even or a little minus. Keep good thoughts in your brain and your mind, and throw the ball, right? Is it throw or roll? What do we do?
We roll it.
We roll it. All right.
More times than not.
We toss it. We throw it.
Sometimes we chuck it.
Yeah. Well, you do, right?
Yeah.
At 7-10s. Come on, Lisa. Ah.
Swisher 7.
I hate 7-pins. Oh, and Doug Henry just whiffed an 8-pin.
By the way, on the pair that we're watching, 24B had that wrap 10, first ball in the 10th. If they strike there and get that double, they're in. Like that was a very pivotal shot there. Nasty wrap 10 too.
Oh, and our spare 4-bagger now turned into a 2-4-10 split. That's the frustrating thing. You just feel like you're under control, you're making good shots, and then wham! Oh, and Lisa just missed the 7-pin.
And if we weren't in press mode before, we're in press mode now.
Yes.
Everyone has to fall to just say, I'm going to get the back 6. That's wishful thinking.
Aaron Jones with a double here, looking to make it 3 in a row in the 6th. And that's got to sit. And that's one thing it won't do here.
And I don't know if anyone saw on the way left side of your screen, but they did pick up the 2-4-10.
Ah, good spare.
Yeah. Hit the 2 off the sidewall all the way across into the 10.
You know, it's one thing you don't hear anybody yelling, push, hold, because they just know it's not going to happen.
Right.
The ball is not going to stop.
Yep. Oh, Jake with a nice mixer.
And I think he's
He's now in a real good spot, but he's got to get past lane one more time.
Is he heading into the 9th?
He's heading into the 9th, yes. He's on a 3-bagger going into the 9th.
Well, this is what, Jacob's 3rd squad?
I think 4th.
Oof. Oof.
He didn't bowl at 9 o'clock, and then he's bowled every other one.
Oh, yeah, he did bowl Friday night. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, I was watching last night.
He's gunning for the old top 5, break even. Right?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, again, we want to thank you for watching the Indiana Masters qualifying portion of the tournament here on Saturday on Savage Bowling TV. Want to thank the staff, Angie Collop, and all the people here at Championship Lanes for a wonderful job hosting this tournament once again. Want to thank our sponsors, the brands Brunswick, Mike Alby's Arrowhead Bowl, A1 Automotive, Pinheads Entertainment Center, Tim Max, Victory Lane Pro Shops, and Championship Lanes, and obviously the Indiana State USBC for making this possible for us to broadcast you these wonderful scratch events throughout the state of Indiana. And if you're interested in bowling some scratch events, maybe some tournaments here in the state of Indiana, go to indianastateusbc.org. Click on the tournament page link. You'll find all of the events that are being hosted by the Indiana State USBC, Indiana Open Championships, the Women's Championships, the Senior State. You have the Youth Championships. You have the Queens coming up here in a month. You can go on there, download your entry form. You can pay online. Simple as can be. Go to indianastateusbc.org to learn more and see how you can become a state champion. Now we're back here. There's wrapping up the final squad. Oh, wow. Something slid over? Or no?
Well, he went through the nose, almost left the 6-9, but the 6 kind of moved over. You got to get that respotted. It gave him a strike.
Yeah, that's a break. Good break.
Just leaving the 6 is big there, because that could have been disaster.
He's got to finish the game on the left lane, right? Lane
no,
1?
he's finishing on the right lane, which is his good lane. He so far has struck every time on the right lane.
I think Evan Jentz was one that was
Yes,
plus.
he was +5, so
This is a big shot for him.
it really is. Just making that jump from the high end down to this tighter bay where
He still has 213 out there, but he's got to start striking. First, he's got to make the 2-8 version. Unfortunately, Lisa's weekend is going to be done here. Most she can shoot is 191. That's not going to be enough.
To get her to the minus teens.
All right, Terry Vaughn here now with a baby split. The 3-10. This is a big shot for him, too. He's coming off a single pin miss. Ooh, takes the 3 straight back. He is going to be in a dogfight now because I believe that he can shoot 190.
Which gets him to minus 5.
Oof.
Which I don't think gets there anymore.
That is a great question. We're going to hang on, folks. We're going to keep the stream running. We'll come back on when the announcement of the cut is made. It's so hard for us to speculate because you got 44 lanes. You just don't know what anybody's doing at any particular time. And Jake just flagged.
So he's at 175 now in the 9th. He was plus 24 going into it. So
My goodness. He missed that by a lot.
you are now in a spot where
You got a mark.
I mean, Mark for sure keeps you into tomorrow. I mean, really,
I think
9 out
yes.
is good for tomorrow.
Just don't Greek church it or anything crazy, right? I think he's going to get in.
Yeah, I think he's for sure in tomorrow. He was plus, what, 24?
Yeah. Think
Yeah,
about
plus-
this.
plus 24.
He's got 22 pins to play with in a sense, right?
Right. I mean, and right now, even if he gets 0, he's still minus 1, which will probably make it to tomorrow.
Yeah. So if you get 5 or 6 pins, he's a lock.
Yeah, I know it's still frustrating because, you think going into that 9th, carry that.
Well,
you're now looking at top 16.
Yeah, you make that, and you got, what do you have? 11. You could shoot 214, right? Or 216 if you make that spare. So 16, you're plus 40. He's probably still going to come up short from the top 16,
Right.
but the other thing you have to think about, you're also positioning yourself
Right.
for the 2 games tomorrow.
2 games tomorrow is kind of a crapshoot too. I mean,
You want all the pins you can get at this point.
Oh yeah.
So
this point,
plus 40 instead of being
even.
plus 8 is a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Those 30 pins could come in huge.
Yeah. Because it's already hard enough, but to be down 20 pins going into a 2-game marathon or sprint, I guess tomorrow. I mean, it's going to be fun. I mean, especially with having 16 more guys this year.
Big shot for Terry. Oh, Terry goes right through the face. That's going to end his weekend. Showed you just how tough it is to make it.
Yeah, and Evan right behind him. I mean, he's got to put together four in a row here to get to 2-0. I mean, he's got to find 3 in a row somewhere, whether it's Mark and then in the 10th or.
Yeah, he's plus 8.
Yeah, and he's got.
He needs to.
He's pacing at 82 right now.
Let's say he goes strike. That's 9. He's still, that's 191, right?
Yeah.
And that's minus 1. I don't know. I think it would get in, but
Yeah.
man, you're teetering.
Yeah, needs to find 3 somewhere.
He's got to have this one in the 9th.
Yeah. All right.
That's good.
Jake gets up there and leaves the 9th pin.
But in his mind, he's just wanting to be
Oh,
simple,
I know.
right? You get a respot on a 6 pin. It takes you a little longer to get it spot, and you're kind of like, okay, then you flag it.
Yep.
But you could tell you're mentally just you're fatigued.
Yeah. I mean, This is his 9th game today on this demanding pattern.
It doesn't seem like a lot of games,
it's
but when you
taxing,
bowl on this and every shot is so critical, yeah.
All right, Evans up.
Oh, great
Ooh,
shot.
What a shot. Got to follow that up now.
Yeah, it's like, there's one, right? All right, 10th frame here for Old Blue, Doug Henry. Nobody can be more tired than Ben Caldwell.
Looks it.
And he looks tired, doesn't he? You know, I'm going to...
Don't do it.
I'm going to. Because I just want to know. Inquiring minds want to know how you feel physically.
Ready to go home and go to bed.
Is a day at the spa in need? All right, we couldn't get him to talk. Some people are just microphone shy. But poor Ben, he has bowled every squad. He's a trooper.
I know some people wish I was microphone shy, but here I am. Sorry.
Hey Ben, we've made an executive decision. We are adding you as a official sponsor of the Indiana Masters. Oh, it's always good at this time of the day to have a great sense of humor. This is basically the last section of lanes that are bowling. Everybody else is done.
And it looks like of all the ones that came
Oh.
over, 641. Oh,
And he went 6 spare, 7. He had a chance there at the
my
top.
gosh, 9 spare 9. And
He had a chance to get into the top 16 right there.
uh-huh.
Good series though, 641,
Yeah,
solid.
very solid set. And Jake ended up with 615, or I guess he was -5 that game. So yeah, 619.
Yeah.
So again, very solid set. Anything plus on this last squad, where the pattern's been laid down over all the junk in front of it, and
All right, here's a big shot for Evan
yeah,
on lane 5.
gotta have this.
He's got to have this one right here to have any chance. That's right. Oh, right in the
carries
pocket.
It picked up a little earlier
Yeah.
than I thought it was going to.
Yes, I was a little concerned that it might not get there, but that was solid flush in the pocket.
And
Now you need to do another one just like that,
yeah,
and then make sure you get
because
8 or 9 or better, whatever.
9 spare would be 191.
He's plus 8. Yeah, we put him -1. I mean,
Minus
he's Lock City casher, but you feel a lot better about plus 8. You know how many people you go around when you go plus 8?
Oh yeah.
Here we go.
And he's the last one bowling.
It's a little left. Oh, what a break. Oh, my goodness.
And that's what he needed
Oh,
right there.
I'm telling you, you got to have those. You got to have those. My goodness. Welcome to the cut.
Yeah. Stay behind the line.
Welcome
keep it
to
on
the cut.
lane.
Absolutely. I'm throwing a dart.
Uh-huh. That's exactly what he did.
Absolutely. I'm throwing a dart.
+6.
That is 200 on the nose, isn't it? +8.
Oh, +8, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You talk about, I mean, he had 202, 206, 200. He had your series. You know, you should be, he didn't go around you, so hey. But man, that'll take a lot out of you.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when, like, you're +9, you have another squad you could bowl. I mean, you're done.
Right.
This is it. It's your only chance. Wow. Well, some exciting moments here to wrap up qualifying here as we watch Evan Jens make the cut with an unbelievable break there in the second ball in the 10th. To shoot 200 on the nose to get to +8, and that should easily get him into the top 64. That's going to wrap up qualifying here from the Indiana Masters Championship lanes in Anderson, Indiana. We're going to stick around, keep the stream alive. We'll come back with the cut score. The top 64, top 16 after this squad right here will be locked into Sunday's double elimination match play. And we know you as a past champion here twice, that's what it's all about, is getting into that 32 match play bracket.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, tomorrow morning is going to be a dogfight with 48 people vying for those last 16 spots. It'll be exciting.
Yeah, and you only got 2 games to do it.
I know.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Mike Albee will be joining us tomorrow morning for that portion of the event. And congratulations to all those who have made it. They don't know it yet. There's some that already do know they made it. But obviously, exciting day tomorrow as we'll find out the champion of the Indiana Masters here after match play takes place. 10 a.m. the start time for the second round, the 2-game match or 2-game total pin round that'll add to their current scores. The top 16 bowlers from that portion will be seeded 17 through 32nd. I want to thank TJ Schmidt for hanging out with us here in the broadcast booth tonight. Dave Small for joining us too as well. We hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast of the Indiana Masters qualifying portion here on Savage Bowling TV. We'd like to thank our sponsors one more time. Brunswick, Mike Albee's Arrowhead Bowl, A1 Automotive, Pinheads Entertainment, Tim Mack's Victory Lane Pro Shop, and Championship Lanes. For Chad Lester, this is Scott Gilmore. We'll see you tomorrow morning for round number 2 here at the Indiana Masters. We thank you for watching. Good night, everyone.
And he didn't do nothing, so I'm like, okay, we're good. Like 460 something. Both like garbage. Good one, bad one, decent one, bad one. That's the latest. I think the best bowls I threw were practice. I've never Dude, I mean, I know it's not supposed to be easy, but it's just like, it's hard. first squad, yeah. Everything after that, no. Anybody from Columbus is decent. Anybody who's wearing one of those like raised they're from that area. That's
Keep your vehicle running like new. Stop by A1 Automotive. Keep your vehicle running like new. Stop by A1 Automotive to get an honest rundown of what your vehicle needs or doesn't need. It's all part of their no pressure, no upsell environment. Find them online at a1cardoctors.com or stop in today right off Coliseum across from Tractor Supply. A1 Automotive. Pinhead's Entertainment Center has it all. A modern-style bowling alley with 2 private bowling suites. Alley's Ale House serves up a chef-crafted menu daily, featuring signature handcrafted cocktails and over 30 draft options. The arcade at Pinhead's offers 90-plus games, including old-school games, Golden Tee. Tim Mack's Victory Lane Pro Shop is your go-to destination for all things bowling. You'll find the top brands in bowling balls from Storm, Roto-Grip, 900 Global, Brunswick, Hammer, Motive, and more. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just rolling for fun, we've got the perfect gear to up your game. From bags, shoes, accessories, and apparel, Tim Mack's Victory Lane Pro Shop has it all. Don't settle for anything less than victory. Swing by Tim Mack's Victory Lane Pro Shop with locations inside Royal Pin Woodland, Western, and Expo in Indianapolis.
plus 112. Hamlin, 59. Ryan Hernandez, 57. Aiden Fellows, 54. Jeremy Adler, 49. The last spot into the guaranteed is Cameron Bollinger at plus 45. To make the top 64, or if I could say 66, because we had a four-way tie for the 2 spots, but we advance everybody that's tied. That's minus 12. Those 4 bowlers were Derek Newsom, Cody Cox, Jason Lauer, Hunter Glaze. We're paying 100 places, and that number is a tie in 99th and 100. That is minus 34. That is Ryan Pittman and Mike Baker. So, I will get all the results double finalized. I will get them up on the team app within about a half an hour. If you made the top 64, you need to be here by about 9:15, 9:30 in the morning. We'll open up at about 8:30. And if you made the top 16, you need to be here at 11:30. And we'll have some warm-up pairs for those people so they can get a little warmer than just a few minutes of practice. In just a few minutes, I'll get all this posted up online, probably throw it up on Facebook. I want to thank everybody for bowling. And 497 entries for basically a 2-day tournament is pretty great. I thank you all for coming.
All right, you just heard from Tournament Director Jeff Circle with the results from the qualifying portion of the Indiana Masters, and minus 12 was your cut score to the top 64, and the top 16 was plus 45, and our guess is Chad. Hey, kudos, man. You guessed the number
on the
nose. Minus 12. Jeff Circle was closest for the top 16 at 648. I had 649. Chad, you had 635. Yeah. Our guest, Andrew from our chat, was 639. So, hey, Jeff Circle wins the top 16 guess. Chad, you are right on the nose for the top 64. So, hey, we have our numbers. And I didn't think the score would get that low for the top 64.
No, like you guys were talking, still was thinking -3 to -5.
Yeah.
And it still got to 12.
Yeah. So, there you have it. We're looking at really 17th place at plus 44. 56 pins separate 17 through 64. That's not a lot.
Yep.
That's not a lot. So, anyway, we hope you enjoyed the broadcast this evening on the Indiana Masters qualifying portion here on Savage Bowling TV. We look forward to tomorrow's broadcast of the second round, and then the top 32 match play. Mike Albee will be joining us in the broadcast booth. For Chad Lester, this is Scott Gilmore. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow morning.